Good evening, this is QTV Nightly News and I am Jacqueline Coley. Thank you very much for joining us. Here are the main headlines. The Gambia Immigration Department held a press conference today to announce the resumption of operations at its document processing centers, including the issuance of ID cards following a 5-month interruption to the service. On Friday, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education unveiled the regional winners of the Gambia Teacher Prize ahead of its 2025 national ceremony. Civil society organization Gambia Participates organized a stakeholder roundtable discussion on Friday on the 2024 draft constitution. In international news, today, December 27, marks the International Day of Epidemic Preparedness, a vital reminder of the importance of taking proactive measures in the fight against infectious diseases. Those were the headlines, now the news in detail. The Gambia Immigration Department held a press conference today to announce the resumption of its operation at its document processing centers, including the issuance of ID cards. This follows a 5-month interruption. Amadou Tamba attended the briefing and has the details.
Issuance of vital documents. The Gambia Immigration Department, responsible for controlling, monitoring and regulating the movement of people, is to finally resume issuing ID cards, resident permits, and other related identification documents. According to immigration officials, from Monday, December 30th, 2024, Gambians and residents whose applications were approved are awaiting printing can now visit the centers where they were enrolled to collect their printed cards. The Gambia's ID card system, previously managed through a public-private partnership with SEMLEX, is now fully under the control of the Gambian government. The long delay, attributed to hardware and software issues, has now been resolved. As a result, Gambians awaiting their ID cards can also complete their enrollment at any of the 15 ID card centers across the country. Fode Gassama is the Commissioner of Processing at the Gambia Immigration Department.
38,904 ECOWAS ID cards were printed for Gambian citizens. For residential permits, which is issued to non-Gambians that are resident here, we were able to print 14,545 residential permits. For non-Gambian ID cards, which are also issued to other categories of non-Gambians that are resident here, we were able to print the entire backlog, which was 22,840. For aliens ID cards, we were able to also print the entire backlog, which is 4,648.
Commissioner Gassama has called on Gambians who are currently in the country on holiday to take advantage of the opportunity to align their passports and obtain the new biometric ID cards. He extended his gratitude to the Gambian people for their patience during the implementation phase and also expressed his appreciation to the Gambia immigration officers for their dedication and hard work in ensuring that all the necessary cards were printed and ready for collection.
So we had put in a lot of effort. It is less than 2 weeks we were able to print the entire, not the 38, the entire. The entire. But what we had done is to bring in officers from most of our issuing centers, a good number, and we had a good number of staff. And we had to make them morning, afternoon, night. Work morning, afternoon, night. 3 shifts. Others will come in the morning, close at 4. Others come in the afternoon, close by 12. Others will print up to daybreak.
The ID card is a mandatory document for every Gambian who turns 18. However, due to the extended delay in printing cards after enrollment and approval, individuals are required to present their receipt to collect their printed ID cards. Commissioner Gassama addressed concerns regarding those who may have misplaced their receipts, clarifying that alternative measures will be put in place to assist such individuals in retrieving their ID cards.
But we encourage them to go to the center where they have been issued, where they have been enrolled, and claim that they have enrolled there and they lost their ID card, they lost their receipts. I am sure there will be a way out in order to be able to reprint out the receipt. I think there's a possibility. It's more of a technical question, really, and the technicians are not available here. But I am making recourse to the passport where I directly work. There's a possibility that when you lose your receipt, when you come to collect your passport, there's a way that we are able to print that enrollment receipt for you so that you go and collect your passport. So I am sure there's a way out.
The Gambia Immigration Department has expressed the hope that the delay in the printing of ID cards will not occur in the future. To avoid such disruptions, the department is working on ensuring a more consistent and efficient future process. Additionally, plans are already underway to begin the printing of machine-readable passport, MRP, which will be renewable. This initiative is part of the broader effort to modernize and streamline the country's travel and identification systems. For QTV News, Amadou Tamba.
On to our next story. Now on Friday, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education unveiled the regional winners of the Gambia Teacher Prize ahead of its 2025 national ceremony. The initiative, a flagship program of the NAMI Foundation, celebrates the exceptional dedication and impact of educators. Mam Nabuka attended the event, and this is our report.
The NAMI Foundation, in partnership with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and the Gambia Teachers Union, launched the Gambia Teacher Prize on 25th September 2023. The goal of the initiative is to celebrate and honor the exceptional basic and secondary education school teachers in all disciplines who have profoundly impacted the lives of their students and their field of education. Today, the annual event continues to address the pressing need for recognition and support for teachers who play a pivotal role in shaping the future of the nation and encouraging young students to consider teaching as a career path. The upcoming 2025 National Award Ceremony will be the second edition of the Gambia Teacher Prize, and this event unveiled the regional winners ahead of the official ceremony. Here are Alassane Suso, the chairman of the NAMI Foundation, and Esa Sow, the Deputy General Secretary of the Gambia Teachers Union.
So as the old saying goes, an elephant is eating one piece at a time. And I think what we have started last year is to lay the foundation of what could be possible in terms of transforming the overall Gambian education system so that it could serve as a model for other nations as well.
The winners have gone above and beyond the usual rules and responsibilities to instill values in kids, children who will be the future leaders of this country, to instill creativity and then a love for learning. So extending rewards to them by appreciating their time and energy to celebrate them, showcase their work, I think is a noble cause.
During the application period from October 7 to November 15th, 62 applications were received by the panel of judges. From these, 31 were shortlisted for further consideration. Following a thorough evaluation process, the winners are Amadou Kamara from Region 1, Ibrahim Algay from Region 2 West, Samba Jallo from Region 2 East, Aissatou Mendy from Region 4, Mohamed Kande from Region 3, Babukar Sise from Region 5 South, Hawa Jaite from Region 5 North, and Malang Sane from Region 6. Each of the regional winners will receive a prize of $50,000. The overall national winner will be awarded an additional $50,000, bringing their total prize money to $100,000, along with other gifts. Omar Jendur, the chairman of the National Judges for the NAMI Foundation Teacher Prize, calls for more teachers to apply.
We have so many teachers, and this is a good initiative. This is something that is, to promote them in the work they're doing. I think the participation should get higher. So here I am again challenging the regional directorates to ensure that they sensitize their teachers to be applying for this very important issue. Because if you go to some of these schools which are very remotely located, and you see the good job that these teachers are doing, I think they need to be celebrated.
The National Award Ceremony is scheduled for February 20th, 2025. It is hoped that this event will eventually become a key part of the nation's Independence Day celebrations. Lamin Jaju is the chairman of the selection committee.
We want in this one to feel the importance of teachers, to recognize them as people who really matter in society. Because when you talk about the quality of education in any country, you first have to look at the quality of its teachers. No nation's quality of education can be better than the quality of its teachers.
Dr. Habibatu Drame, the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, offered words of encouragement.
I encourage you to continue the good work, and let's explore the possibility to scale this up so that we can come up with more and better initiatives that not only enhance our teacher quality, but also serves as an encouragement and a motivation to the cream of our society.
The NAMI Foundation was founded by renowned multiple award-winning US-based Gambian teacher Alassane Suso, who won the 2019 New York State Teacher of the Year Award. According to Mr. Suso, his vision is to uplift the teaching profession in the Gambia, to ensure that there is high-quality professional learning in the country, and that the hard work of teachers is recognized and celebrated beyond their national borders. Mam Nabuka reporting for QTV News.
From that story, we will now take a short commercial break. When we return, we have more local and international stories. Stay tuned.
The Maverick in Afro Mandi Music, Jaliba Kuyati, proudly presents album Titaro launching Saturday, the 4th of January 2025 at the Pinchomi Hall, Paradise Suites Hotel, 9 p.m. Sankuto album Kuto, Ning Alman Finti Juna, Hanisidula, Alta Sotola. Individual ticket $500, VIP ticket $1,000. Special invited guest Tombong Koyo, famous TikToker Guinea-Bissau Afele Sirim Paris, France, Bangkok. Father of the night, Lamin Sane, CEO Lima Capital. Mother of the night, Zainab Demba El Jame, owner of the night, Mayoress of Banjul, Rahima Lo, Princess of the night, Fatu Sanyang Tala, Seattle, USA. Brothers of the night, Latif Suare, Katim Toure, Silaba Samate. Sisters of the night, Maimuna Sise Dabo, Fatu Kamara, Fatu Ba, Maryland, USA. 4th of January 2025, Jaliba Kuyate dina daji album bu bes tak bu doy war. Jox len ko sarité ci at mu bes bi. Titero album launch is the next big revelation.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is QTV Nightly News. Now, civil society organization Gambia Participates organized a stakeholder roundtable discussion on Friday centered on the 2024 draft constitution. The event aimed to create a platform for civil society organizations to present their position papers and foster meaningful dialogue on the ongoing constitutional reform process. Yafa Tugay was at the meeting, and she now reports.
The Gambia is still governed by the 1997 Constitution. An attempt to get a new constitution was rejected by the National Assembly in September 2020. On that occasion, 31 National Assembly members voted in favor, while 23 members voted against. A new draft has now been put forward in an attempt to get consensus. This roundtable provided a vital space for CSOs to share their perspectives on the draft provisions, with a particular focus on areas of concerns and contention. The discussions were designed to gather inputs on the proposed constitutional changes and address key issues that could shape the country's future governance framework. A key element of the roundtable was the comparison between the 2020 draft constitution and the 2024 version, providing stakeholders with an opportunity to assess the changes and identify key areas that may still require refinement or adjustment. While both drafts are part of the broader constitutional reform process, aimed at establishing a more democratic and transparent government, the 2024 draft introduces several modifications that have sparked considerable debates. Anita Mahoney, the program manager for the Gambia Participates, highlight the key objectives of the discussion.
We are here today with various key stakeholders around the constitutional reform process, which are civil society organizations, religious groups, political parties, as well as the media, to discourse around a position paper that was developed after a 5-day comparative review exercise that we did with civil society members, and developing a position paper on the 2024 draft constitution to look at key areas and areas of contention and deliberate on it and forge ways forward in the constitutional reform process in the Gambia.
Abdullahi Oba, the clerk for the National Youth Parliament, presented an overview of the position paper and the recommendations put forward by civil society organizations.
What we are looking at this point in time is that we understand that the 2024 draft has been tabled in Parliament, and what recommendations we resolve at our engagement as coalition of civil society organizations together with Gambia Participate is to ensure that we engage with our lawmakers, to ensure that when there is a consultation phase for the 2024 draft, we are able to consult with them on some of the provisions that are not catered for and that are required in order for the Constitution to represent the interests of the Gambian people, one of which is going to be the inclusion of the chapter on leadership and integrity, but also to ensure that there is enough checks and balances in the Constitution to ensure that power is not just concentrated in the hands of the executive, but it is devolved into the different organs of government that will ensure that there is independence in our institution, but there is also transparency and accountability in our governance.
Participants engaged in lively debates on various aspects on the draft, including governance structure, human rights protection, and the system of checks and balances. Several contentious issues were highlighted, calling for further scrutiny and potential revisions to ensure that the final document aligned with the aspirations of the Gambian people. Mohamed Esba, a participant and former president of the Gambia Press Union, shared his expectations following the submission of the proposed draft constitution to the National Assembly.
What we want is we need a constitution. Let them allow it to come out of the parliament, and there are certain minimums that should not be compromised by parliament. First is the the checks and balances in terms of powers, because this is a democracy. We should not have, no single entity should have an overriding power over the other.
A key takeaway from the roundtable discussion was the critical need for ongoing collaborations between CSOs, government institutions, and other stakeholders to ensure the reform process remains inclusive and transparent. By bringing together diverse voices, the roundtable aims to ensure that the final draft constitution genuinely reflects the values, aspirations, and the needs of the Gambian people. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatu Gay.
Up next is international news. Today, December 27th, is International Day of Epidemic Preparedness. The day serves as a critical reminder of the importance of proactive measures in the fight against infectious diseases. This story by Babakar Sise is narrated by Mam Nabuka.
This global observance emphasizes the need for preemptive strategies in preventing, preparing for, and responding to potential epidemic outbreaks. By fostering collaboration across governments, international organizations, and local communities, the day underscores the essential role of early detection, rapid response systems, and comprehensive public health infrastructure. The concept of epidemic preparedness has gained increasing attention in recent years, particularly after the global impact of events such as the Ebola outbreak in West Africa, the Zika virus, and the COVID-19 pandemic. These events have highlighted the devastating social, economic, and health consequences of poorly managed outbreaks, emphasizing the importance of coordinated global efforts to minimize the impact of future epidemics. The emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic underscored the necessity for communities worldwide to establish robust systems capable of effectively managing epidemics and working towards averting future outbreaks. Key components of epidemic preparedness include surveillance and early warning systems designed to detect and track potential outbreaks before they spread uncontrollably. Vaccine development and distribution to ensuring that vaccines are developed quickly and distributed equitably is critical in mitigating the spread of infectious diseases. Strengthening healthcare infrastructure by improving hospitals, medical facilities, and trained personnel can significantly enhance a country's ability to manage epidemics and global cooperation to ensure a coordinated response to global health threats. The evolution of global interconnectedness, climate change, and the rise of antimicrobial resistance mean that the risk of future epidemics is ever present. However, the observance of the International Day of Epidemic Preparedness offers an opportunity for renewed commitment to global health security. Through continued investment in public health infrastructure, collaboration, and research, the world can better position itself to prevent or minimize the impact of future outbreaks. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
I'm afraid that's all we have time for, but before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. The Gambia Immigration Department held a press conference today to announce the resumption of operations at its document processing centers, including the issuance of ID cards following a 5-month interruption to the service. On Friday, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education unveiled the regional winners of the Gambia Teacher Prize ahead of its 2025 national ceremony. Civil society organizations, Gambia Participates, organized a stakeholder roundtable to discuss on Friday on the 2024 draft constitution. In international news today, December 27 marks the International Day of Epidemic Preparedness, a vital reminder of the importance of taking proactive measures in the fight against infectious diseases. That's all for now in this news bulletin. Join us tomorrow at 8 for another news bulletin. Thank you.